This is a list of the things I like, the things I like, the things I like.
This video is a clear homage to Tim and Eric's awesome show. Great job. Any associations or affiliations or unlikenesses of any kind are not true. Thank you.
Now, starting out with some of my movies. Some of the most influential movies. I brought most of these with me. I had a hard time bringing some of them. We'll start off. I'm a huge Aqua Teen Hunger Force fan. This is the movie. A lot of people hated this movie. Everybody says the same thing. They love the first 15 minutes of the movie and they hate the rest of it. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, personally. I love the movie. Second of all, is this old television cartoon show called Freakazoid, brought to you by Steven Spielberg. I'm normally not a big fan of Steven Spielberg, but this show's pretty cool. It sort of describes my weird and bizarre sense of humor. It really helps. And this is the second season, as you can see. Then, Kung Pao. I was always a big fan of poorly made, poorly dubbed kung fu films. I always thought they were really funny, and this one does a really good job of spoofing that. There's also another film by Woody Allen called What's Up, Tiger Lily that does the same thing, and I love those kind of movies. Here's a very funny film by Mike Takashi, who directs, he also directed Ichi the Killer, which is also a big influence on me. This is called Osaka Tough Guys. This is one of his first movies. Then here is Poultrygeist. Poultrygeist is a very very gratuitous and violent trauma film. Trauma was a big influence on me. It really helped me develop my renegade filmmaking skills, and they're really, really helpful for me here in Tokyo. So I've been learning a lot. Then, of course, is Kira Kurosawa's Ran. If you can see, it's still in packaging. The sticker's still on it, too. I've seen this movie several times. It's a very beautiful and well-filmed epic that features many great costumes and war scenes. It's probably one of the most expensive movies and amazing films I've ever seen in my life. And I think that's an absolute essential for anybody who's a filmmaker should see a film like that. Then comes the Mondo Box Russ Meyer collection. This is actually a Chinese bootleg. Well, it's not a bootleg, it's just this one was made in China. I got it from China in the mail. Great number of films came in this. I'm not sure if you've seen The Immoral Mr. T's. Let's see what else is in here. Common Law Cabin. Lorna's a good one. Another one of his good ones is Super Vixens, my most favorite Russ Meyer film. And of course the traditional Seven Samurai by Kurosawa Akira again. And then The Thing. If anybody's a fan of John Carpenter, this I think was John Carpenter's best film. The Thing, about a man who is trapped out into, well, not a man, but a bunch of people who are trapped out in Antarctica, and a shape-shifting monster is amongst them. It's a very, very psychological and suspenseful film, and the color and contrasting of that movie is just brilliant. I love it. And then we have Tim and Eric's awesome show, Great Job. I've been really influenced by this television show recently. I went back home and watched all the episodes. It's a very, very awkward show that sort of mocks television, and it's very, very funny. It's very creative. They do a lot for that show, and they have lots of celebrities surprising, like Zach Galifianakis and John C. Reilly, Weird Al Yankovic. They constantly appear in the show. Then we have the Toxic Avenger. The Toxic Avenger. Like I said, a big Trauma fan. I was a big fan of this. The big head smashing scene. It's such a wrong movie. I mean, smashing kids on bicycles for points, but oh well, who cares, right? Okay, and then I'm also a big David Lynch fan. This is also in plastic as well. Twin Peaks. I'm always a big fan of Twin Peaks. I love Blue Velvet. A lot of David Lynch. I didn't really like Inland Empire, though. I don't know what the fuck that was about. And then last but not least, Wonder Shows, and also sort of like Tim and Eric, except with a little more, a little more clarity than Tim and Eric. I love these movies that are sort of in the style of Kentucky Fried Movie, if you've seen any of that, or Amazon Women on the Moon. I'm not sure if you're familiar with any of those. Great stuff, though. Interesting stuff. Oh, yes, let's not forget about Kill Bill. This is actually a special edition Japanese box set. It's pretty cool. It comes with a bear brick and a t-shirt and a Japanese version of the film, which is pretty cool. And it was only a Nisanen at Book Off, so that's pretty cool. And here's some of my literature: Coin Locker Babies, Speed Tribes. I don't know if you've seen Tom Robbins, Hiroki Murakami, the Film Snob's Guide to Filmmaking, Film Snob's Guide. Oh, Dictionary. Excuse me. Henry Miller, of course. Lloyd Kaufman, David Foster Wallace. Some textbooks I didn't get rid of. And here's some Frank Zappa. Sharik Your Booty. One of my favorite albums by him. What else do we have here? We have Weasels Rip My Flesh. One of my favorites. And one of my favorite rock operas of all time. Joe's Garage. One of my all-time favorites. Let's see what else I have here. Music. Let's see here. Here's is The Residents. The CD, this is like a band you can only... this CD you can only get in Japan. It's like a techno version of all their famous tunes. But I'm a big Residents fan. And then my best band I've heard this last year was the Bloody Beetroots. This is kind of a provocative little CD cover here. Animal Collective. I believe they have a new EP out. This is Merrywater Post Pavilion. Yeah, it was a good album too. I liked it. And here's traditional. Whoop! You didn't see that. This is my kanji learner's dictionary. I'm sure many of you have this. Here's one of my favorite manga. I'm not sure if any of you have ever heard of Rikyo. I love it. Like the kanji is Power King, literally. Big fan of this series. I don't know if you've ever seen the film. The film's even just as wild as the story. Although I do think that Rikyo at times gets a little overkill. It's kind of like the American Psycho of Japan. And one of my favorite manga and favorite movies, Ichi the Killer. Korosha Ichi. Yeah. No, Koroshia Ichi. Come on. Sorry, Koroshia Ichi. Gotta get that right. Everybody, I know how everybody loves to correct my Japanese on YouTube, and I encourage everybody to. This is a big plushie I won in one of these UFO machines at Niku Niku Doga. Okay, there's also been some new channels I've been watching. Okay, maybe just one channel I've been watching. They're just kind of influential on me. There's this one, she's a girl, she's really kawaii. Her name is Ito Haruka. I'll put the link on the sidebar. And she's been shooting her videos in Hokkaido, and everything's so snowy. I mean, it looks so romantic. I'm not sure how not like romantic like, oh, I'm so in love with you. Like the romanticism of snow. And I think the contrast of putting kawaii girls or like in the movie The Thing, like setting people on fire in the snow is fascinating. It's very sick, but yeah. Yeah, check her out. She's a very cute girl. I mean, I like watching her videos, not in a perverted sort of way, but just she helps me with my Japanese. It's helpful to listen to Japanese constantly, and I recommend those who are studying. It's helpful to listen to people who are Japanese. All right, thanks for sticking around for this edition.
Can you give us some penis?